Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2 of Amateur Hours with Brady and Harshil. And today we are gonna work and continue our work on the travel journal that both Brady and I are excited about. So I'm not gonna take a lot of the time with introductions. I'm gonna call Brady on the screen and we'll ask him for a quick introduction for the folks who don't know him or who are joining in for the first time, and then we'll get started. Hey Brady, welcome back to the stream.
Hey Harshil, how's it going?
Going good, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
All right, ready. Do you want to do a quick recap, or do you want to let's start with the introduction? Do you want to do a quick introduction for the folks who might be joining us for the first time?
Sure. My name is Brady. I am a tech recruiter here at Contentful. I've been here for a year and 9 months, and I am ready to get started on part two of this travel journal.
Awesome, that's fantastic. I would like to know from our audience, since we are again gonna talk a lot about travel. I'm curious to know like which is your favorite travel destination. And I think we talked about this in the last live stream, but I have a very bad memory. So, Brady, do you want to talk about your favorite travel destination?
Oh gosh. Okay. I mean, what I talked about last time, I had just gotten back from Portugal, so that was obviously fresh in my mind. Um, but my favorite destination, I think I'm gonna have to say Mexico. It was just a really awesome trip. It was right before the pandemic, so things were still kind of like really iffy, and Corona was kind of becoming regular in our vocabulary. And then I flew back, and then it was locked down. So that trip really sticks in my mind, not because of Corona, but because the trip was amazing, colorful, lush, great food. It was awesome.
Wow, that's all fantastic. I have a few friends in Mexico, and they have been asking me to come visit
Do it.
Mexico, so it's on my list.
Cool.
All right. So once the travel journal is up, I want you to add all the details for Mexico.
Okay, will do.
Awesome. So do you want to start with moving to Glitch so that we can share your screen?
Yes.
All right. So I'm just gonna quickly go through on what we did in the last live stream. So we started a project from scratch, and we are coding everything on Glitch so that we don't have to handle all the things locally on our machine. And we are basically using the template that Glitch provides. So we have the default template where, and in here we just in the last live stream talked a lot about HTML, and we learned how to change titles, how to do styling and all those things. While we did that, we really don't want a lot of these stylings in this stream, because the idea is to add a map, an interactive map, where users can view all those pins where you have been. They can click on it, and maybe a pop-up appears, maybe with an image and stuff like that. So that's the whole plan for this stream. Let's see how far we go.
Let's go.
All right. So as I mentioned, we don't need a lot of the HTML. So I want you to go to that file and start deleting stuff.
Which file in particular?
Yeah, this index.html. You are in the correct file. Yeah. Just if you
Yep.
scroll down. Let's see. We don't want from line maybe 96. Is it 96? Yeah. If you select till, if you just go up, keep on your selection, and yeah, just scroll up, go up, go up, go up. Till no, no, not till that. Uh, Maybe line 62.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And delete this.
yeah, and delete this. Now, what we want to do is we want to have our div. Now, this div will be basically a box, and we will tell HTML, hey, you have to render or you have to display the map in this div, right? So just go ahead and add those div tags. As you can see above, it's, yep, div. And now one thing we are going to do is we are going to add an ID. So if you do space ID equals map, yeah, now the map we want to wrap in double quotes.
Like this?
Yeah. And now we close the div.
We
You,
close it.
you need to do the closing angle bracket after map. Yeah, just to the closing angle bracket. Yeah, perfect.
like so.
Yeah,
I think
that's
I
it.
added a second one down here.
No,
So,
no, did it? No, no. So if you see, that's the wrapper.
oh yes, okay, yep. Wrapper and
Exactly,
then the content.
exactly. So if
Okay.
you see, there is after the file name, there is a prettier option on the top.
Here?
No, no, no. On the same page where it's index.html, if you see on
Oh
the
yeah.
top, there is no, no, no. On the same column. Yeah, let's see. Let's try this. On the same column, if you see on the top, right below your search bar,
Yeah.
right below, no, there is index.html below the search bar.
The search bar.
Below the search bar.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Is it a Monday?
Yeah.
Oh, prettier. Yes. Sorry. It's
Yes.
just yeah.
If you click on this, it will. It should what? Okay, so there is an error. It says that there is an error, which is good. Now we know there is an error. So it says that we have something that should not be here. Alright. I
Inline
think we are
CSS.
missing a div, a closing div.
But this body one is closing this body up here, right?
Yeah, but there is one thing, there is one div that is not getting closed. So there is the div that we created for map, which is getting closed. There is another div that has class content, which is getting closed. But there is div with class wrapper, which does not have a closing div.
Okay. So where do we close that one, or how do we?
Yeah, you can just put it in there after, yeah, wherever your mouse pointer is. Yeah, it's done already. Perfect. And now if you click on prettier, yeah. Should format and it
Wow.
looks more readable. Now you'll get a better understanding of the nesting inside.
Okay.
Alright. Now we have just added a tag, but we haven't added the map. So let's go ahead and do that. And for this, we are going to use map box. So let's go on to script.js.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So this, all right, let me quickly talk about what we did in the last live stream. In the last live stream, we unfortunately did not had a lot of time. So we just saw how to make a request to the Contentful API and we were getting some data back. So what we want to do is we want to leave the URL as it is.
Okay.
But if we come down to line 2, where we are using the fetch function, we currently don't need this, so we can delete it for now.
The whole line.
Yeah. All right. Now, one thing, if you go back to Contentful, because there is one change that I made. So if you see, there are now there are basically three different content types. There is places, there is highlights, and there is location.
Mm-hmm.
So initially in the last live stream, what we did was we created locations and then we linked those locations within the highlights.
Yep.
But the problem with this is that when we were creating this, we didn't actually knew how the API would look like for the map, right? The way the map works is it needs the longitude and the latitude, and it basically has its own GeoJSON format.
Yeah.
So if we were to use that, we would have to call the location. Once we have that location, we would have to then make another call to fetch all the highlights for the location. Now that adds a bit of complexity. So I thought, let's just do it in one content type. So now if
Yeah.
you open the places content type, like if you can open Berlin and Amsterdam, they are all just dummy information in there. If you scroll down, I've added a highlight, and then there is the location where I'm just pointing it out, Berlin, and I've also added a picture in there.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay, so what we are gonna do now is this is not Berlin though.
Yeah, we get the idea. I was like, I haven't seen something that pretty in Berlin in a long time. It's too colorful.
I should have picked something that's black and white.
No, we shouldn't discourage our viewers to coming to visit Berlin. It is a lovely city, everyone, I promise.
That's
We
just an
brought this.
internal joke that we have in Berlin. That's it. But yeah, so this content type basically helps us solve the problem. We are making just one call. It is going to give us all the places that we have. We are gonna then make a bit of modification so that we get the locations easily. And for each location, we also get the information that we have, so that we are not making another call to contentful to fetch that information. All right. So remember how I told you to remove the fetch function? We actually are going to use that, but we'll have to make one quick change. So let's go back to glitch, and in the URL, if you scroll all the way to the right, yep. Now you see at the last we have content type location.
Yep.
Instead of location, because now we are looking for content type places, replace location with places. Perfect. And now we're going to write the fetch function. So let's go ahead and do that.
Oh, oops.
Let's do fetch. Perfect. Okay. And then we are going to pass a URL. So open the parentheses, and inside of that write URL.
Like this.
Yeah, but there should not be any space between the fetch and the parentheses. Perfect. All right. Let's do dot then, and then again open the parentheses, and let's. So what we are going to do now is we are going to basically convert the information that we are getting in the JSON format. So let's do res space equal to, and then the angle bracket, the closing angle bracket.
Is it this one?
No, the angle bracket that we use for the tags.
One.
Yeah, but the opposite one, the closing one. Yeah, perfect. And space res.json, res.json,
JSON. Okay.
and then parentheses.
But that's already automatically there. So the close,
No,
right?
no. So this is a function. So what we are telling is this: run this, execute this function. So if you add parentheses again, yeah. So now what is happening is we are saying dot then, and then in dot then function, what we want to do is we want to get that response and convert that response into JSON. Now, most of the time when you're working in JavaScript and you are using functions like this, the dot JSON function, right? You would basically, to call those functions, you would add the parentheses at the end of that.
Okay.
Right. So now this gives us the result, but it still does not do a lot. So let's go ahead and do dot then again.
After these parentheses.
Yeah. Let's do one thing as well. Can you just hit Command plus so that we have a bigger font size? One more. All right, yeah. So that our viewers can see this as well.
Should I do it one more time?
This is fine for me, but folks, if you cannot view the screen, if it's a bit difficult to read, let us know, and we'll try to increase the font size as well. For now, what we can do is we can close the left menu bar. Yeah, if you just click on that, perfect. All right, this looks good to me. So let's do this. Again, we have to add the parentheses after then. And we are going to do something similar. So instead of res, we are going to do result, and then equals, and then the angle bracket. And this time what we want to do is we want to write a bunch of code. So you want to use the curly braces. Yeah, and just hit enter. All right. So first of all, let's just try to visualize the information that is coming in. So if you do console.log,
What dot log?
console, console,
Like
oh,
this?
it's console,
Yeah,
SOLE.
yeah. Sorry.
Yep. And then in the parentheses, you can just add a result.
Another parenthesis.
Yeah. Again, this is a function. So, and in this function, we are telling it to, hey, just print out the result that we have.
Okay.
All right. And what should happen is if you do Command, Shift, and I believe that's the shortcut.
Oh no, that's opening my email.
But okay, if you just right click and select inspect, just right click anywhere on the screen, yeah, and do inspect.
Yep.
There is a console option after elements.
Yes.
If you scroll a bit, this should actually show us some data coming in from contentful. Yes, okay. So there is an object that if you can see between all those yellow things, there is a white thing.
Here in the object.
Yeah. So if you click on this, it should basically, yes, it contains, if you click on includes, click on asset.
Yep.
So it contains all the information that we got in contentful. So we are now getting the data from contentful. That is good. That is sweet. But we want to do something more than that. So
Okay.
there are two things that we have over here. We have the asset and we have the items. All the information currently that we need is in the items. If you click on items, if you click on any of the 0 or 1, you can see there are fields which contains the name, the
yeah.
highlight, and all the other information that we have over there.
Yeah. Okay. That information looks familiar.
Exactly. So that is the information that we saw on contentful. And this is how we get from the API. Now to make it more readable, let's go ahead and add another line of code after console. Let's say const data.
Like this?
Yeah, space data equals to result.items. Result.items.
Dot items.
Yeah. So what this is going to do is this is basically going to give us all the items that we just saw right now and store it in the data.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So
before
this,
moving forward, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
This result items is pulling from this information over here, right?
Exactly.
Got it. All right.
Exactly. Before moving forward, we got a question in this chat. What are we working on today? So Stanley, first of all, welcome to the stream, and I am gonna pass it on to Brady because it's his travel journal that we are working on today.
Yes. So the last session we got everything started to create a travel journal. Right now we are linking. Correct me if I'm wrong, Harshil. We are linking map data to the actual journal so that when somebody goes into this journal or when I go into this journal, you can click on Berlin, for example, and information will come up about Berlin. So we're just kind of working further to make this travel journal a little bit more interesting than just text.
Exactly. So we are basically adding an interactive map so that you would like to come back again and see where Brady has been traveling and see if you are traveling at the same place and want to get the highlights of his travel story.
I hope that answered the question. I believe so.
Let's see. If you have any other question, just let us know in the chat and we'll be happy to answer that. So till now, what we did was we just went ahead and got some data from Contentful and we extracted the items from the result that we got. Now that we have this information, if you saw the items, it says array 2, right? Which means this is an array of items which contains 2 items for now. So because we have just 2 entry for places, but as and when we go on adding more entries, this is gonna keep on increasing. So we don't wanna hard code for each and every entry that we do. We want the machine to work for us. So what we are gonna do is we are gonna create something that's called a loop.
Okay.
So for each entries in the data, it's gonna automatically create the code for us and add it to our map. All right.
Sounds complicated.
Sounds complicated, but we'll go there step by step.
Okay.
All right. So hit enter and let's write a loop. So, okay, not loop, but let's do that. Let's do this. So let's do for and then again parenthesis
What am I writing?
for for.
Yep.
And then parenthesis again. Now what you want to do is const item space
Yeah.
of space data. Not path, it's of const item of data.
Oh. What?
It's of.
Oh, off. Sorry. Why did I hear
Yeah.
a P in there? I'm blaming technology. Okay.
With a single F. With a single F.
All right.
So what it's doing, like all the items of the array data. So it's gonna circulate through all the items until and unless it gets all the items from the data array. Now you all again want to do those curly braces and just hit enter. Yeah. Let's see this in action. So let's just do console.log hello maybe. Yeah.
With a parenthesis.
Yeah. Now the thing is the hello over here is a string, right? It is not a variable that we defined. So you want to add those in quotes. So the hello should be in quotes. Yeah. All right. Now if you go back to your console,
Back over here.
yeah, and if you scroll down to the end,
Ooh, that red does not look good.
it's all right. It just is shouting us for some stupid reasons. You can ignore
Okay.
it. So you see now it says hello, but before hello it says two.
Yes.
So what it did was because there are two items, it printed out hello twice. But again, we don't need that. We actually want to do something more of this. So let's go ahead and let's first do this. Let's go ahead and create a new map. So yeah, just you can hit enter and let's just do new space map box gl dot marker with a capital M. Yeah, marker marker and then parentheses, and then outside the parentheses let's just make it look a bit neat. So just hit enter and then do dot set lang lat. Now again both those L are capital. SET capital SET
Oh, sorry. Yep.
capital L and G and then capital LAT, and now the parenthesis LAT. So it's basically what we are doing is we're telling it to set the longitude and the latitude.
Longitude and latitude, right? And then
The parentheses again, and this time we are going to use square brackets.
we're going to use what?
The square brackets.
The square brackets.
All right. Now let's just try to find out where exactly this longitude and latitude are present in the item. So if you again go back to the console, if you click on system, yeah, you can just click on the white line that is displayed here. And if you click on items now,
Yeah.
if you click on any of the 0 or 1, if you click on maybe let's see, if we click on fields, what information does it have? All right, so if you see, it has the information in the item dot field dot location,
Yep.
and then we have the longitude and the latitude.
Yeah.
All right, so we did something similar when we referenced result dot items. Do you want to try to see how what we can get the longitude and the latitude now?
Oh my goodness. Okay. So we got the items by writing this.
Yeah.
So what I would assume is that we can just do the same thing, but instead of putting items,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe, yeah, and I mean, I think logically it would say result is then the location,
Mm-hmm.
but does that node to already look under items fields location?
Yeah, yeah. So what is happening is in the for loop that we created, it is now already gonna look for just one single item. All right, so
So
it's
then
going to look for zero, the zeroth item, and the first
uh-huh,
item, right? But it's looking at the item, we need to specify the location,
yeah.
the exact location.
Then I think you would probably put something about LON and LAT back into the code because you need to be pulling those exact numbers.
Exactly, but how do we get those numbers?
You call a software engineer.
All right, no worries. Let's try to understand this. So if we do item dot fields, it will return us all the fields present in that items, right? Again, similar to what we did what result dot items.
Mm-hmm.
Because result contained items, it contained the includes thing, and it contains a lot of information.
Right.
But when we did result dot items, the data only contained result dot items. So the other fields were not present now in data. So we are doing the same thing. So what we are doing is we are doing item dot fields, which means we are only gonna get the fields. But in the fields, we are specifically interested in location. So we're gonna do items dot fields dot location.
Yep.
And in location, we are interested in the latitude, so we'll do LAT. And we are also interested in longitude, so we'll do LON as well.
Okay. So could I then copy line 4, but just put result dot items dot fields dot location dot.
Right, you can do that, but again, this will give you the result twice, and again, because it's an array, you need to specify for which particular item number we want this information.
All right.
So the loop is taking away that work from us. So all we have to do is just do item dot fields and then the rest.
Okay. And do I put this on a whole separate line
No, so within those square brackets,
within these ones?
yeah. So we just do item dot, no, it's just going to be item now. Dot fields.
Fields.
Yep.
And then do I do
Right. And the first thing we are setting is the longitude. So that would be LON and comma, and we're going to again set the latitude.
I also then do a comma and then dot LAT?
No, so we'll have to do again item dot fields dot location dot LAT.
Do I keep the comma in here?
Yeah. So we're basically creating a separator. So we'll get the longitude, comma, the latitude.
Location dot LAT.
Exactly. Perfect. Let's hit prettier so that our code looks a bit neat. All right.
Ooh, fancy. Okay.
Okay. One thing that I think I am missing, but let's see. So we are referencing the map box, right? But we are not actually using the map box. How do I call this? API to
Mhm.
fetch the map box, right? So I am gonna quickly share 2 line of code with you that you need to add in your. I'm just gonna remove it so that we don't share our secret. So I have shared 2 lines of code. If you can just copy them.
Alrighty.
Yes. Come back to glitch. All
Yep.
right. And if you open the index.html file,
On the left side, right?
yeah.
HTML.
Yeah. Now you want to paste this on line 43.
I want to paste this where?
Line 43.
Line 43.
Perfect. And we can close the console for now.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, what we did was we basically imported the API from Mapbox, and we also imported the style sheet that Mapbox gives, so we don't have to write our own styling for that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do one thing. Right before script, if you can just hit enter. Yeah, on line 43 itself. If you see,
Oh, just hit
yep.
enter.
No, no, no. If you scroll to right, not and if you slowly now start scrolling to the left, there is an
Mm-hmm.
opening script tag. We want to bring it to the we want to bring it to the next line.
So this
Just
one
hit
right here.
enter. Yeah, perfect. So the first is gonna get us all the styles from Mapbox, and the second is gonna get us the actual API from Mapbox.
Got it. Okay.
So now if you go to script.js,
Script.js.
we still have an error. That's okay. Okay, let's see if we can do this. So right now we just created markers, but we still don't have a map, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what we want to do is we also want to render out the map. So let's go ahead and do this. So on line 16, let's do, I'm trying to see if we can get, I'm trying to remember how we set the environment variables. I think I know how we did that. Do I want to do that on the stream? I'm very cautious about the environment variable. All right, let's see if we can do it the other way. If we just do const space map equals new space mapbox gl dot map, and this map is with a capital M, and then again parentheses, and within those parentheses curly braces, and hit enter. All right. Now what we are going to do with this is we are going to create a map box. We are basically going to create a map. So you
Okay.
say new mapbox gl.map, and we want to do, we will be passing on some information. So let's just do container.
Right container here.
Yeah, yeah. Container and then colon, and then in quotes, let's just do map, and then comma after the quotes, hit enter. And we want to add style, so you would want to do something like, all right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you the whole code
Okay.
that I don't have to dictate it. All right, so you can go ahead to StreamYard, get on the code.
So we'll copy paste this and do it. Okay, so I'm back on glitch now. And so
And
on
on line 18, just paste this.
Yep.
All right, we want all those values in a separate line. So after center, if you can hit enter, or maybe if we just do prettier, it should do that for us. If you hit prettier. All right. So what we did was we told it to use the style that we got from Mapbox. We also defined a center position because it's a world map, right? Where should be, the user see the first place, or where should be the first place be, right?
Mhm.
Or where should the center be? So that's what we did in the center. So we passed a latitude and the longitude, and then we say like how much zoom in we want the map to be. So we did zoom 8.
Okay.
Now the only thing is we are not passing out credentials in here. So even if we try, even if you go to the output on the right and scroll down a bit,
Over here, you mean in
yeah,
this?
we don't see anything because
No.
we are not passing our credentials. So we need to do that, and I'm just trying to see if we can do it in a more safe way.
Okay. So credentials in what sense? I mean,
Credentials in
um,
the sense that because Mapbox uh, Mapbox is a service in itself, right?
mhm,
So to access the API, to access all the information that Mapbox provides, basically the whole map, right? You need to create an access token, something that we did with Contentful as well. But the only thing over here is with Contentful, we have a separate delivery access token.
mhm.
So even if that token is public, it's still fine. But with Mapbox, if I share this particular token, anyone else can use it for their own project, right? And
Okay.
I would be billed for it,
I see. I see.
right? But I think it's gonna be fine. We can do it. I'm just gonna delete that token. So if you can go back to StreamYard and copy the first thing I shared with you. So
So this right
maybe
here.
the first thing, no, the first Mapbox gl.access token equals,
Oh, this one up here.
yeah, the whole thing. Come back to glitch and on line, yeah, let's do it after line 15. So after line 15, just hit enter and paste that token. All right, again, okay, something happened, I think. Let's just go
Right.
to our output and see if it got displayed. No.
Maybe not. No. Whoops.
Okay, so that's all right. Let's try to figure it out. So you see there are three red dots on our script.js file.
Yeah.
If we click on that, it says mapbox.gl is not defined. Okay, it says mapbox.js is not defined, but we are already importing the libraries. Hmm. This is script.js. If you open index.html again, okay, if you scroll to left, hmm.
So yeah, I guess I don't understand why it says it's not defined. So does that mean that there's something wrong here in the actual?
So what is happening right now is it is not able to access that API that we made that we called on
Mhm.
line 44, and that's where the problem lies. Let's see if there is something that I can quickly
But
check on my end.
does this closing thing have to be on a separate line?
No, it can be on the same line.
Okay.
Does not make much of a difference. Right, I'm just going to try to run an example on my machine and
Sure. Yeah.
hope that it also does not work so that I know that I have a solution for it. No, it works on my machine. Okay. But I don't want to do that. All right. Maybe what I'll do is I'm gonna share the screen so that people can see the result that we should now get.
Okay.
All right. Let me bring up my screen. All right. So this is what the user should be able to see. So there is a marker on Berlin, and if I move across or if I just zoom out a bit, bad idea. All right, and there should be another marker, and over here is the other marker, and that's for Amsterdam.
Right.
Now, what I did further is if you click on this, you get an image with some text
Mm-hmm.
as well as the name of the place. So that's what I also want to try to implement with you,
Okay.
but I'm trying to see. Okay, let's try to do that, and I'll show the end result on my screen again so
All
that
right.
folks know the code and then they can try it by themselves.
All right.
All right. So now that we have the map running, we want to show up a pop-up and some information in that pop-up. Now again, this information lies in Contentful itself, and we already have this information via the call that we made to Contentful. So let's try to use that. So again, let's go back to the JavaScript file. Yep.
Yeah.
And in here, we want to do this. We want to create those pop-ups in the for loop itself again because we are repeating those items, right? So what you want to do is you want to let's go to line 9 and just hit enter. Then let's just do const pop-up HTML.
Pop up.
Yeah.
.html.
No, without space, just write HTML. So basically, without space, yeah. So we are basically defining a variable again. And now this equals to,
Test equals to.
no. Equals to, we don't need to write test. Yep, this equals now back. Okay, let's see. You can delete the two. What we want to use is
Oh, sorry.
backticks.
Wow.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Let's do backticks. It should be. Let me see. It should be the key right before the one number on your Mac. So it looks like a quote or something. Yes, exactly. Perfect. All right. So just hit enter, and now we again hit enter because we want to look at. We want to make it look pretty. Yeah. Now go back to line 11. Don't hit prettier now. Don't hit prettier now. It's gonna do it the same thing. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to create some HTML tags over here. So the title that we had can be an h1 tag. So you can do angle bracket, h1, and a closing angle bracket,
Angle bracket, and then what do I put inside?
h1,
At one.
h, h, h for Herschel,
Oh yeah.
and then close this angle
Close it.
bracket. Yeah, and now over here, let's do dollar sign, curly braces. Now remember how we referenced the location, the longitude and the latitude? It's right in front of you.
The item field's location.
Exactly. So this way we are going to reference the title. In Contentful, we are calling it place name. So if you do item.fields.place name,
Okay.
place name with a capital N, and yep. And you can now close the h1 tag outside of curly braces.
Yep. Oops. Ah. Okay.
Alright. So now we have the title. Let's also try to render out the highlights. So yeah, let's open up a paragraph tag, a p tag.
Like so.
Right? Yeah, and again similar to what we did above. Now instead of place name, we are gonna replace that with highlights. Yeah, and then close the p tag. Okay, you can close that. All right. Now I am gonna try to show the result on my screen. Let me quickly reload this page to stream. Okay, so Now what we did is we created basically this. So we now have the title
Mm-hmm.
and we have the paragraph tag. I can zoom in a bit. This is the again the place name and the highlight. But we also want to render out the image, and we have a few more minutes to do that. Let's go ahead and do
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to remove my screen. I'm just going to adjust. Yeah. All right. Now that we have the image, sorry, we have the title and the highlight, we want to do the image. So hit enter and do angle bracket img. Img is basically the tag for image, and then space. Now for image tag, we need to specify where this image is coming from. What is the source of this image,
All right.
right? So we do src. This equals, now add double quotes, http http
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
colon, and now we are going to do is we're going to do the dollar sign.
The dollar sign.
But this time, the problem is that this image is not exactly in that uh, field's location. So we'll
Mm-hmm.
have to fetch it from someplace else. So let's do curly braces, and we are going to do result.includes result. We're going to take it back from result now.
I'm sorry. I don't understand.
We're going to take it back from result. Yeah, result. We did result.items, but this time we want to do result.includes dot asset with a capital A. And now what it's going to do is it's going to give us various assets. We want always to get the first asset. So you want to do a square bracket and then 0 and then dot fields dot file dot URL.
Right after the 0.
No, after the square bracket.
So fields.
Dot fields dot file dot URL.
URL.
Yeah. All right. Uh, let's do this. So I'm gonna again bring up my screen,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm also gonna try to walk through this again. So let me bring up my screen. I'm gonna refresh this, and if I click on it over here, now we have the image, right?
Ah, cool.
The way we coded right now, we should get the image after the p tag. So I'm just gonna make a quick change. So now if I click over here, this is the output that we get.
All right.
Perfect. So we are almost done. I just want to show a couple of results so that people can view what is happening over here. So the first object contains the whole result that is written by Contentful. Now in includes, we have asset which contains the images. And the result also contains the items, right, which we kind of destructured when we define const data equals result.items. There is also the items over here now. So what I have done is I've just basically deconstructed, or let me try to rephrase this. So what I'm doing is now I'm also printing out each item individually. So if you see now we have the Amsterdam and we have the Berlin item over here. These two items are now printed out separately. Now the reason why we did the includes thing was because if I go under pictures, if I do 0, if I do sys, if I do anything right now, it does not actually give me the picture or the image. That's why I got it from the includes array. I see there is a lot of thinking going on.
Yeah,
Shoot some questions.
yeah. I mean, I think my, I guess I guess maybe this is already written in the code that I just don't see because obviously I'm a beginner at this. But let's say I wanted to like just I didn't want to use that picture anymore. I wanted to add another one, or yeah, let's just leave it at that. I wanted to add another one. If I change the file in Contentful, will that automatically update in the code that I've written? That it just will automatically refresh? I don't need to do anything with the code, right?
Yeah, you don't have to do anything with the code. You can go and change that file to in Contentful. Let's do that. Why don't you go ahead and do it? Right. So just go back to Contentful. I'll bring up your screen.
Yep.
All right, and I'm just gonna put my hands up so that people know I'm not doing anything on my end. You can go in there. You can change the name of the place. You can make any changes that you want. You can change the image as well. And then I'm just going to go ahead and refresh my page, and this should hopefully not mess things up.
And then
All right, so right now what it will do is, because we are going to have multiple images, it's going to render out just one image, because I'm
so I
just
need
telling
to
it to
delete
render
this
out
one
one image.
first.
Yeah, so we want to delete this one first. So you can just remove and then add media.
I mean, nothing says Berlin like a sunny beach. So let's just go ahead and insert that there.
And we have made the changes, but we haven't pushed the changes. So you have to click on publish changes. Yeah.
Publish changes.
Yeah. It says published. It's done. My hands were high up so that you all can see I wasn't
This
doing
is
anything.
proof. We're on live camera.
I am going to just bring my screen up. I am now going to refresh this. All right. And if I click on Berlin,
Berghain was added, and the newest Berlin beach is now
is done.
available to the world.
That's fantastic. So you see, you just had to update the content on Contentful. And if you go ahead now, if you add, a third location,
Mm-hmm.
let's do this. We got a few minutes. Let's go ahead, add a third location.
All right, so I'm back in Contentful.
Yep. Let's click on add entry on the top. Click select places.
Yep.
Add.
Let's do Mexico since we were talking about it.
Mexico. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do a little bit more specific, Mexico City, just because Mexico's huge.
And then
And Condesa is the neighborhood that I was in.
perfect. And if you just want to scroll down, add the location.
CDMX, that is it.
And then the pictures.
Yeah, I guess we'll use this picture, even though of course it's not. I would have to upload it from my computer.
Again, it's in a draft state. You want to publish it.
Right. Publish it.
Perfect. It's in here. Now I'm going to bring up my screen. I am going to refresh the page. And if you see over here, we don't want the lights go. We have 3 items now. So we got Mexico City, we got Berlin, and we got Amsterdam as well, right? So the for loop is working. It is showing us all the 3 items. And if I zoom out a bit, let's just do reset. And if I go to, my geography is really bad.
Keep going left, 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 left. Jump over the ocean. Oh yeah, scroll out a little more, it's easier. There we go. And now go down. There it is.
Wait.
Okay, so the wrong picture came up.
Huh, that's interesting. So there is something, yeah, sorry.
Let me double check my actual picture on. Yeah, so it is showing up with my colorful door picture.
So that is something that we are not doing correctly with our image code.
Hmm.
That is interesting.
But it changed for the Berlin one, so I don't know why.
Yeah, exactly. Let's. I'm just gonna try to refresh that. And now I have to go back again.
Yeah, I wonder why it always defaults to Berlin. Does it know where your computer is?
No, so because the center coordinates that I set was around that area.
Oh, okay, I see.
Okay, what is it showing? Ah,
Oh, so
okay,
it's changing all.
okay.
So Berlin must be like the default.
I think I know what the problem is. So if you want to open glitch again,
All right, glitch is open.
so what we are doing is, okay. So we are saying render out the zeroth image that you find in assets, right? So every
Oh,
time it is finding that beach image, which is at the zeroth position in that array, and it's just rendering that out. And that is why this is the issue that we are facing. But it's fixable. All we'll have to do is make a minor change in there, and then we can do it. But we are almost on time, so we won't be able to do it. But I'm
okay.
just gonna try to talk about it. So what we would want to do is we would want to change something in a for loop. So we can do something like for item in data. What this will do is this will give us the index of everything. So we'll have to do data item, which will be data 0, data 1, data 2, stuff like that. So basically
Writing that in
now
here.
indexing items. Yeah. So instead of then asset 0, we would just do asset item, and then it would give us the asset of that particular item. Right now,
Really
I don't think
interesting.
it's gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work because it is not gonna reference it in the correct way.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's the general idea of that. So that's how it's gonna we can solve that. All right, I'm just gonna do a quick recap of what we did on this live stream because we are almost on time. So in the live stream today, we added Mapbox, which unfortunately for some reason is not working on glitch. I'll share a solution if I can find it on the stream. But we were able to show the output on my screen because I already had an example over here. So we created a map which had some stuff going in there. Let me quickly refresh it so that you can see it again. So we have a map now which shows all the places that we have visited. This, if you click on that particular pointer, let's just see again all the places. So there's Berlin, there's Amsterdam, and that is Mexico City. So we were able to also create a pop-up which would give us all this information, and that's pretty much it. That what we did on the stream today.
Sounds about right.
All right, Brady. So, what? How do you feel now? When do we see your life project up and running?
I mean, definitely tomorrow morning. I mean, I know everything that I need to know. I'm just gonna pull an all-nighter and we'll be ready by 6 in the morning. Get excited. Except
I'm
I'm
looking
calling you
forward to it.
every 5 minutes, be like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. No, but this has been
Ooh,
really
okay.
interesting,
I just
especially
turned
the
off my phone
pop-ups.
now. So yeah,
I'm
sorry.
sorry?
Go ahead. I mentioned I just turned off my phone, so it's all right.
Smart. Thank you for your support. But what I was saying, I think it's really cool that the pop-ups come up because you already have a preview. I mean, once we
Hmm.
get this image thing figured out, you already have a preview of what Mexico City could look like. Um, Amsterdam and Berlin, of course, but as you add the cities into the map, it's then also cool that if you were to keep this up for the next 5 to 10 years, you have little more pinpoints popping up throughout this world map, and then you can really see at one glance. You're like, oh wow, I've been to a good chunk of places.
Exactly. like I am gonna try to do this, add it to my website as well. So I have
Cool.
already my website up and running. I just want to do herschel.dev/maps and then
Yeah.
have at least the pain points and maybe a few pictures, I guess. I don't know. But that's my idea as well. If I do it, I'm gonna share it with you all and just let me know what you think about it.
Yeah, and I feel like pictures is what people look at anyway. If there's a ton of text, people, I don't know if I want to say are too lazy to read it, but I think we do the same thing. If we're booking a hotel, we look at the pictures first and then we read the
Hmm.
description. So having like multiple pictures also within one city would be a good starter to say, oh, that's really pretty. Let me go ahead and read further.
True, true, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Let's see how I do it with mine because I have been trying to do this for a while, but I am lazy. That's why I made you code the whole thing on the live stream because I'm lazy. I don't want to code.
You're making me do the dirty work? Thank you. Wow, you're so humble and so generous. Thank you.
But anyways, I'm taking just a lot of your time. I don't want to keep you on over here. Thank you so much for joining in,
Yeah,
and I
thanks for your help. It
hope
was
you
really fun.
I awesome. That's all I wanted to know. Thank you so much, and thank you all for joining in the chat and viewing us live. We are gonna also share the recording of this, and if you want us to do more of these live stream, if you have any ideas that you want us to try, just let us know, and we'll be happy to try out something new. Thank you all for joining in. Have a nice one.
Thank you. See ya.